from homeless to hopeful.
Good stuff. And I'm gonna just stay on that same note because
Yeah.
that's the first one anyway. No staff. I think Shay said it, but I'm gonna say it for the people in the back. You do not need staff to run an independent living facility or this shared living environment, because if you're doing it the right way, you're housing individuals that
You
are
are.
independent,
Correct.
that don't need you to cook their bologna sandwich, that don't need you to drive them around to the doctor's appointments and to the grocery store, and you do not have to provide food in
Right.
terms of cooking it for them. So those are all the things that usually is required for a licensed facility.
Yeah.
Shay, you got to cook for people. Like those same folks need you to help with their
Set menus.
ADLs,
And think
right?
about the set menus too.
The set
Right.
menus in the
Mm-hmm.
industrial kitchen, right? So all of those things that would normally be required for a licensed facility, guys, this shared living environment does not require that. And
Right.
again, we come here every Monday, every Tuesday, and every Saturday just to make sure that you guys understand it. So again, also by now, if you haven't joined our free Facebook Academy, make sure you do that. It's called the ILF Academy. Takes 2 seconds to join it. It's absolutely free. Again, it's called the ILF Academy, and it's free. Go and get that from Facebook. But just like Shay said, and we're going to move on to why we don't require a license either. But again, in the shared living environment, Shay, if I'm housing people that can cook their own food, provide their own transportation, and swallow their own pills without the need for a nurse or a doctor, why would I need a license? Why is the license needed if
Derek,
they're able to do all that stuff and be independent?
I'm going to tell
That's
you,
the
like,
question we get
no,
all the time.
so I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell all of our viewing audience exactly what the Child Protective Services, our DCF department, told you when you first started this, right? Derek, you are a glorified landlord, sir.
Yep.
You are not required. You don't have residents that require or need the extended help or assistance from you. So why do you need to jump through all those that red tape?
Exactly.
What is the purpose?
What Shay is referring to, if you guys don't know the beginning of my story, many years ago,
Yeah.
over 7 years ago, I was calling everybody, just like a lot of you all do. You calling the city, you calling the state, and I was just trying to figure out what to do to get this thing started. And that's what Shay meant by it. That guy said, Derek, you're just a glorified landlord. If you don't want a license, you don't want to feed people, you don't want to provide transportation, and Derek, you don't want to give out medications.
Yeah.
He says, Derek, you're just trying to be a glorified landlord. I was like, he said, but Derek, lucky for you, none of that requires a license. So if you're trying to do it the way that you're asking, Derek, you just want to rent rooms to people.
Right.
And I was like, wow.
Right. He
So
really
for me,
pretty much
that was
told
the
you
cheat code to getting started.
Yeah, that's exactly what he told you. So yeah, so once again, Derek, no license required. Again, you're looking at housing independent adults. There are some nuances to that, and that's why we come here to share who we are and what makes us the experts in the field, right? The fact that this dude right here was a social worker for many, many, many years, that saw this as saw it in real time, right? People being treated inappropriately, housed in really bad and raw conditions. And what better way to, extend what you were doing as a social worker outside of the four walls of a hospital or a healthcare environment by providing housing and access to something that is so much more so much better than what was available at the time. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that part about no license and no state requirements, put a number 7 in the chat if you were like me many years ago and you thought you had to own the property and have a license to do something like this. Because again, if you're new to us guys, I was the social worker for over 9 years.
Right.
So I worked in the hospital where we was discharging a lot of people, quite frankly, to the street because they didn't have anywhere to go. There was no choices. But there was a lady that we saw, and I'll admit it, guys. I always tell people, man, God showed me this one lady that was making $41,000 a month.
Yeah.
Housing people and rats and roaches, and she was mistreating people. And if you heard me correctly, guys, I said $41,000 a month.
Yeah.
And guys, I was making $28,000 a year. So I often tell people that I'm no genius, I'm no rocket science. I just got a love for God and people in social services and real estate. And God was genius enough to allow me to merge all of that together. And this is literally what we do now, Shay. We pour it all over the world because over 7 years ago, it was one me and one house. But today, through the teaching of it, we're in 33 different states now and over 375 ILFs through the teaching of what this is.
And every day,
that's pretty exciting.
And every day, it's like we're adding new ILFs to the family, right? So it's a blessing. And like Mr. Arthur always says, if you had 50 million houses, it still wouldn't be enough. There's such a need in so many ways, right? The populations vary so vastly. So you just have to understand where you fit in, right? What market, what population type suits your demo, like suits your community actually,
Yep.
because it's always going to be community based and community driven. It's going to be supplying or fulfilling a need in your community. So you just have to get out there, start verbalizing that this is something that you want to do, and this is something that you do with the oversight and insight from Force and Consultants, and we'll show you exactly how to do this successfully, grow and expand, not only for your own financial well-being, but for the well-being of those that you'll provide housing to. So the independent living facility model, Derek, hands down, it is absolutely far above and beyond the rest. And honestly, you get to see such amazing testimonies from the people that you house.
Absolutely. So just really quickly again, before, because anybody that may have just joined us and you're just kind of in the middle of this, we're just simply talking about a housing model that you guys can start without the need for a license.
Correct.
Or state requirements or staff. And again, the cheat code is that we're serving people that don't need any of that.
Mm-hmm.
They just need a roof over their head and for you to keep on the lights and the water, because we
Yeah.
believe in turning you guys into a one-stop shop, which means when you go and rent or lease or buy this property, you guys are going to house people and they're going to pay you one set fee.
Yeah.
And you as the landlord, you're going to pay the lights, the water, the cable, the Wi-Fi, the security system, blah, 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 blah. So me as Second Chance Housing, when social workers and case managers are calling us,
Mm-hmm.
they're not worried about how much is the light bill and the water bill and the Wi-Fi bill. They
No.
know that Shay and I both serve as a one-stop shop. And that's what we teach you guys to do, right? So if you miss that, you can lease or rent the property. One of the biggest cheat codes to me, guys, was to find out that I didn't have to own these properties to do this. That was a big cheat code. So for the Robinson family, when you guys ask what it looked like and how we get the clients, we're going to get there, right? Because September 10th is where I'm breaking down to you guys in a workshop that's only $97. And again, that whole workshop is called Leveraging Relationships Within the Community. Because it's one thing to get all these pretty beds, but how do you feel them?
Right.
Who are you connecting with? What does the email sound like? So a lot of what we're going to be doing, guys, is showing you guys not only what to do it, how to do it. I'm also going to create emails that I'm going to give you guys as templates to show you how do we become the preferred vendor. And again, one more time, September 10th, that's a Tuesday at 7 p.m. If you guys text the word leverage, just that one word, text the word leverage, my team is going to see it and we'll send you the information to be able to book that workshop.
Yeah.
But again, if you're new to us, we come here every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday for free. What we've been doing lately is giving people a part of the I-11 Mastery Blueprint 101 coaching broken down in workshops. So for people that want to do like a la carte type services from us, or people that maybe, they can't afford our one-on-one coaching at the $7,500 or the one that's $3,000. Maybe you say, well, Derek's teaching these classes for $97. Let me join that. And that's what we're having, guys, on the 10th of this month. Literally, the title is going to be Leveraging Relationships and also how to utilize the virtual assistant, because a lot of y'all got full-time jobs and you can't do this, the outreach and the marketing, because you're at work 9 to 5, 5 days a week. So we're going to show you guys how we take a virtual assistant that can answer your phone, do the social media, and build the relationships for you while you at your 9 to 5 job, but you get all the credit for it. So again, this is what it looks like. And again, no state requirements, no license, and no staff. Because the people that we're housing, remember, they don't need your help.
They sure don't.
They just hit a bump in the road in life, and they can't afford their own apartment. They can't afford their own house. And maybe they can't even afford their own studio. When was the last time you guys researched on Zillow or Realtor.com how much is a one-bedroom apartment?
That's good, Derek.
For you guys that can multitask without leaving this screen, pull up right now in terms of where you live at. What does a studio cost? What does a one-bedroom cost? And that'll answer your question, Robinson family. Why are you guys needed? You're needed because you're going to be the affordable housing option. Because when the studio in your city costs $1,300 and the one bedroom costs $1,800, where can they go?
Derek, I had a
So again, you guys
conversation.
are offering
Yeah.
something that's affordable, Shay.
I had a conversation yesterday with a young lady that we both know, that we go to church with, that's in the process of purchasing a hotel. They're purchasing an existing hotel that is pretty much geared to housing those that are disenfranchised. And currently, right now, like she said, they're actually doubling up. They're actually doing our model, but they're doing it in a hotel.
Mm,
And they are charging $1,200 per bed.
mm.
She told me $1,200 per bed in an efficiency. And it blew my mind because I said to her, I said, that is our model, but on the scale of what you're doing, how consistent are you? How efficient is your intake process? And that is their struggle right now.
Mm.
So we actually have a call with them to kind of help them remold what
Well,
they're
I hope they
what they're
come to that
doing.
September 10th
I
workshop,
hope
because
so
that's
too.
exactly what it is,
Yeah.
leveraging partnerships in the community
Yep.
to be able to fill these empty beds. So, Shay?
Yeah, so I just wanted to share that because people are, people that have assets, whether it's commercial or residential, they're actually utilizing utilizing the ILF model to really assist individuals in need. And I'm seeing that from multiple angles, right? I'm seeing the hotel or the efficiency, like the what is it, town suites or whatever. I'm just naming something, has access to be able to provide X amount of rooms for those that are disenfranchised, and we're seeing that in a lot of different communities, that hotels are partnering with organizations to provide beds or rooms.
And this is also kind of, Shay, where we get a lot of our furniture from.
Yes.
So Shay mentioned a hotel. Depending on how long you guys have been around us, if you go back far enough, you will see where a hotel was kind of revamping all of their furniture, and they called us.
They did.
And lucky for a lot of people that we coach and we teach and we consult, we allow them to also come in to get dressers and beds and linens, and you should have seen all of those U-Haul trucks.
That was amazing.
So a lot of what you guys are looking at in these pictures right now, these are literally items, guys, that were donated to us from a hotel that simply knows what we do. So a lot of times when we're talking about the marketing aspects, which we're going to get into September 10th, like, because we're so consistent, guys, I didn't call that hotel. The hotel saw us and called us and offered that stuff.
And you know what's powerful with that, Derek? A lot of people don't realize or don't know that it's cheaper for a hotel to let people come onto their property and take that stuff than it is for them to trash it all.
Right.
So when you're vocal about who you are and what you do, and you have an ecosystem, or you have, a group of like-minded individuals, you can truly benefit from these hotels as they refurbish, because that's what they're doing. They're just refurbishing their place to keep up with other things that are keep up with the other hotels in the area. They got to make sure that they look just as good. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So again, guys, from idea to implementation, we talk a lot about this, the key strategies for operating a successful independent living facility. Again, guys, September 10th is a part of that. So what's the cheat code about September 10th is that, again, the coaching that we're going to be given is usually only given to the ILF Mastery Blueprint members, right? But because of the way the economy is going and life is crazy and all the things that's going on in the world, we understand that as consultants, and we want to make things affordable. We want to make things as accessible for people and attainable. So we thought of these workshops to be able to give people some of that same coaching, but broken down. So twice a month, Shay, all the way through the month of December, we're having workshops twice a month, and they're only $97, Shay.
Listen.
And most of them come with curriculum, a workbook, or even an ebook that I personally wrote. So prime example, if you're brand new to us and you want our newest ebook, no charge to you, you guys can text the word new, N-E-W, to 407-326-0086. And my team will send you that free ebook. And we literally just wrote that book. Now, probably 3 months from now, that book will be for sale.
Right.
But for right now, just to be a super blessing to people, you guys can text the word more info also to watch our webinar and to schedule the free strategy call. So it's actually two things I want you to do here. Text the word new and do this individually. So text the word new to get my brand new ebook free, and it's on me. Enjoy yourself. And then text the word more info, which is going to give you our original webinar, which breaks down everything in terms of what the ILF model is and how to get started. But the greatest part about that was that we actually give you a free strategy call. So as soon as you're done watching it, you can set up a free discovery call with somebody on my team. Most likely it's going to be me. right? And then we're going to be able to talk about how can we get you started in terms of where you live at.
If you've ever imagined of starting your own housing program, there is no reason that after we're done here tonight that you shouldn't go to forstonconsultants.com/webinars and watch the webinar, guys, because a lot of you have wanted to start a group home or traditional assisted living facility, but that stuff takes license. It takes a lot of time to open. There's a lot of red tape to jump through. You have to ask for permission. We teach you guys how to open an ILF, an independent living facility, where you can house the homeless, displaced adults, or anybody that has a guaranteed income, and it doesn't require a license, and you don't have to own the property. Make sure you watch that free webinar at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, and then set up a free strategy call so that me and my team can get you started. Let's get back to the show.
Welcome back.
All right, welcome back. So let's do it. Let's do it. So let's jump into the chat, and then
Yeah.
we'll jump and get some more of the questions. So there's a link. Tina says, "Hello, can you please add the Facebook link?" Not sure if she means the live Facebook link or was she
No,
referring to the
to the-
ILF Academy.
I believe the ILF
So
Academy.
if you go to Facebook, right, and it's the ILF Academy, just join there. I don't think we have a link. If I do, I'll send it.
Yeah.
But our free Facebook group, guys, is called the ILF Academy. Also, at this time, everybody put in the chat where you're located. We do a lot of networking here. I see Constance is here from North Carolina. I think she hit us up earlier. So big shout out to Constance, Tiffany, Tina, Miss Tia, a lot of my regular people. And again, if you're new to us, I want to know that in two ways: by you texting the word new to the phone number, but also just tell me in the chat. I want to personally shout you out and just thank you so much for being here. And then the next question that we got was from Constance. She says, "Is the $97 workshop an all-in-one workshop?" Now, if I'm understanding you correctly, all in one, not sure what your definition of that is, but in that workshop, just like every 2 weeks that we're doing, we're honing in on one specific topic.
Right.
And then the last 15 minutes of it, I've been actually allowing people to do this thing called Pick My Brain. So this has also been good for people that said, well, Derek, I already know about how to leverage relationships, but if you're going to let me ask you anything towards the end, I'm still coming.
Yeah.
So that's really smart for people that's doing that, because otherwise I wouldn't answer certain questions if you're not an ILF Mastery Blueprint member.
Correct.
So just to make sure I answer that right, Constance, in this workshop is about leveraging partnerships within the community. Shay was just given a $10,000 check, and it was a big one, right? And in fact, we find that picture, we're going to put it up. That was called leveraging partnerships in the community. And what was so crazy about it, her virtual assistant did it. Shay didn't even apply for it. So Shay's VA got her $10,000, guys. And that's now a real relationship within the community at a bank.
Yes.
Because what a lot of y'all don't know, every bank in your city is mandated to give away money. Y'all just don't know it. That's why our coaching is so powerful, because we talk more about just how do you do this.
Right.
This is great, but how can you get a $10,000 check to continue the great work that you're already doing? And that's what we're going to be talking about, Constance. What does the email sound like? What does the verbiage sound like? How will you explain this model? Because what I noticed, Shay, as a coach, I'm seeing a lot of people that are not sure how to communicate this. There's people that are go and get one of these houses, Shay, and they'll open up. They have no clue how to communicate it. They have no clue how to price it. They have no clue who to talk to and who not to talk to.
Yes.
That's part of the problem, Shay. They're giving this message to the wrong people.
That is
you want to talk about that? Because I'm sure you see it too.
I see it in all aspects. You have people that go out with the wrong verbiage, and that's an issue. If you're having a conversation with the case manager, that conversation sounds completely different than having a conversation with the homeowner or property manager, right? And then again, you have to make sure your spiel is targeted to the right audience, and you will have a spiel for every audience that you are targeting to communicate with. And I think that is the part that a lot of people miss out on, and then it gets lost in translation a lot of times, and then people don't understand what you're doing. They don't understand how you're able to do it. And this is from like a case management or a provider dialogue, right? If you don't know how to articulate well, it makes it a bit difficult for you to obtain the the necessary relationships to
Right.
obtain those referrals. A lot of times we see that people are not consistent in their messaging, and they are lacking that fortitude to keep pushing and following up, right? We always say this, as you know, even in anything that you do when it comes to marketing, the income is in the follow-up, right? If you don't follow up and you're not consistently having the appropriate conversations with the right people, you will wind up entering into this, this niche and having limited access to filling your beds, right? So now you have to pay an HRA, or you have to pay another partner in the community to help facilitate the referrals. So that's something you don't want to, you don't have to do, but you definitely don't want to get stuck in that cycle of being reliant on HRAs to fill your beds. And that way the HRA has all of the connections and you have none. So you want to
And
make
just
sure
for people
that
that may not know what an HRA is, what is that?
A housing referral agency or a housing referral agent. These are people that have that know how to articulate well, right? That know how to have those conversations with those that are seeking for housing. Those that are, whether it's case managers, social workers, hospitals, rehabilitation facilities, anything like that. They're beating the pavement, they're beating the ground running, and they're making those connections, therefore giving them access to a pool of individuals that are looking for housing resources, right? And this is what you can also be as the housing provider. The goal is to make sure that you understand how to have the conversation with those individuals that you need to have the conversation with, so that your phone's ringing and you're not relying on anybody else to fill your beds.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
And right here, Shay, is what we're not going to do.
No.
So right here on the screen, guys, is what I saw
Absolutely
a lot
not.
of when I was trying to get into this. People that were being housed and being mistreated in bad conditions.
Yeah.
People that were being housed in rats and roaches. People that were being housed and the beds were sitting on cinder blocks.
Yeah.
People that didn't have the sheets, the pillow, the comforter. Like, these pictures will break your heart. Because if it don't, I always tell people that if this don't break your heart and this is something that you want to do, you probably shouldn't get into this, though, because that means that you might do it.
Right.
So I'll never forget, Shay, when I saw some of this stuff and it translated to the lady that was making $41,000 a month. Can 3 of y'all type in, oh my God? Because again, at 41 grand a month, why would you house people in conditions like that? Shay, like, what were your thoughts when I came home and told you about this is what I saw as the social worker and I want to do this?
I didn't quite understand how someone can be so captivated by money that they would allow people to live in deplorable conditions. When you're making the finances, you can set up things that will help nurture a nice, safe, clean, affordable living environment, right? Do you have to take away the whole $41,000? Uncle Sam's going to get his piece. And then, you're looking crazy at the end of the year anyway. So why not push it and put it right back into what you're doing? Yes, have the ability to earn an income for doing the good work, but let's not forget that we're taking people from homeless to hopeful. And honestly, when you told me about this, I was utterly disgusted, because it just honestly, it blows my mind that somebody can make $41,000 a month, a month, and they can't spend $1,000. Let's say you have 5 houses. If you're making an income of $41,000 off of those 5 houses, what's wrong with putting $1,000 back in those 5 houses? Like, what is wrong with that?
To put people's beds on bed rails, to give them
what is wrong with that?
Sheets and pillows,
to hire a housekeeper to come in and clean once a month.
Wow.
Right? Like, is it that terrible to omit $5,000 and put it back into what you're doing, which is a business?
Right.
Technically is a business or a ministry, right?
Yeah.
Which is simply your ministry. Like, how dare you not take pride in what you do, and allowing other people to take pride in their living environments.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the part that is just, it's mind blowing that we still see to this day so many individuals, and even those phone calls that come from case managers and social workers about the deplorable conditions. Like, it doesn't even, it blows my mind that people see the ILF model that we've coined and we've trademarked, and they still go out and they can't do better. That's ridiculous. Because ultimately the world
want to do better than this. What you're seeing on the screen, guys. Like, you have to. You gotta want to do better than that.
Yeah.
And just like I told a family earlier, right? if you're wanting to get into this, don't procrastinate, because as you can see that these are
Yeah.
pictures of people that are in the game that are doing it wrong.
Mhm.
You're procrastinating, which is stopping a lot of people from getting great housing,
From you.
safe housing,
Yeah.
affordable housing. So procrastination, guys, is the arrogant assumption that God will give you more time for something he's already told you to do. Again, procrastination is the arrogant assumption, because just like we always said, even though we come here every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday, it doesn't take us to tell you that you need to be in this. God has told most of y'all that you probably should be doing something similar
Yeah.
to this in terms of helping people. We're just broadening your eyes, right, in your mind, in terms of how can we help people, but how can we use real estate to do it?
Right.
How can we use the love of God to do it? How can we use social services to do it?
Yeah.
That's why September 10th, we're going to be talking about how do you leverage the partnerships in the community to fill these empty beds, because
Yeah.
they're already waiting on these people, Shay. Shay, before I got into this 8-9 years ago, people were already waiting on me to get into it.
Right,
God has
yeah.
already destined certain people for y'all to house. You just got to get in it first.
Exactly.
So again, guys, don't procrastinate, because again, Shay is getting ready to tell you guys about a house that she bought. We talk a lot about renting and leasing. Shay, can you tell them what it means to buy a place like this and now
Whew.
take people from homeless to hopeful when you rented and leased for so long? How do you get to a point to where you buy, Shay?
Again, reinvest. Mickey said it in the chat, reinvesting in your business, right? Or reinvesting in your ministry. That is exactly how we got to this point. When I realized that it was getting more and more expensive to arbitrage here locally, and you had landlords becoming greedy and self-centered and in knowing what you do, but wanting to just keep, count your money for you,
Right.
and increase that rent to a point where it didn't make any sense no more. That's when we initiated that process to go to purchase. So I tell anybody, if you're going to enter into this space, that should always be your end goal, right? You want to obtain assets, because honestly, an asset is going to increase in value, and you want to make sure that you have the access to that asset. And by that, I means I can do whatever I want with this asset. I can, add an extra bedroom like I did with this asset.
So how many bedroom and bathroom
yep.
is that house?
So this was originally a 4-3. What we did is we converted the formal dining room into an additional bedroom, with a closet, everything. So it is a real bedroom. So now it's a 5-3. So I can actually take an additional 1 or 2 women from homeless to hopeful in this asset. So technically, Derek, I can have 10 to 11 beds in this house if I wanted to. But is it required? No, because now my overhead cost is a lot less because I own the asset. Yeah, my overhead cost is a lot less because I now own the asset.
Any specific steps that you want to share with the people are like, what did it take for you to go from renting or leasing so long to now buy this place, fix and flip it, and do all that, and then move your ladies from that renter to here? Any specific things? Or if you guys got questions, bring them in.
Away,
I'm Derek for the people. So I try to give what y'all want or what you're thinking.
Goodness.
So Shay, somebody's thinking, how did you go from renting to buying? Like, was it any specific steps, or does that require a whole workshop, or what do you need?
We can actually do a workshop, but I can give a brief overview of, again, you want to make sure that you have a rainy day fund, right? And it don't have to be a real rainy day, but you can allocate funds that come out of your business every month going to another account that you're going to utilize to help you get to the end goal, and that's home ownership, right? For your ILF, or whatever program you're running. You just want to make sure that you are literally putting money aside to do so. There are so many different avenues to doing this, Derek. You don't have to just go out and go on the MLS, which is, the registry of properties that are listed for sale. You can get involved in things like tax deeds, tax liens. You can do things like wholesaling to help acquire another additional form of income for your business to help you get to that point of home ownership. But there are so many avenues. But for us, Derek, this was a tired landlord that we had relationship with, that pretty much said, I want out.
How many times do we say you need relationship and not always the real estate? Yeah,
relationship is what helped us, what led us to acquire the asset, acquired the real estate. So what we've ended up doing is that individual contacted us and pretty much said, I'm done. Like I'm out of this. I don't want to be a landlord anymore. I'm getting old. My grandkids, my child, my son is ill. And, my grandchildren are in other parts of the nations, right? Not nation, but the nations. They're in the UK and they're in this place and they're over here. So they're not interested in the asset, and it's draining me financially. So with that said, it was Derek and Shay for the people to the rescue, right?
That's it.
Where literally this individual pretty much just wanted back what she paid for this house over 25 years ago. So you do the math on that, right? So I tell people all the time, look for tired landlords. Right. Look for people that are up in age that don't have any dependents or anybody to leave an asset to. There's ways to do that. We're gonna have to do a workshop.
Yeah, because there's so much that went into
Yeah.
the purchase of this property. And I'll be honest, guys, our first initial thought was to wholesale this property.
Yeah.
This deal was such a crazy unicorn deal.
It was.
We
nuts.
thought to wholesale it to make a big 6-figure check. But we were smart enough to know that the long range game, it was better for us to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
We also had a few rentals and leases that we were still in. And we were wanting to get out of that. So one of those rentals were Shay's women.
Yeah.
And that's why we bought that place, turned it from a 4-3 to a 5-3, which now, like Shay said, if she want to do a private room, that's one extra person you can house.
Yeah.
Or if you do the 2 people per room like you're seeing on screen, that's 2 extra people that now Shay can take from homeless to hopeful.
Got it.
And again, remember now, Shay's overhead is not as large as it was when we lease or rent.
Yeah.
So just in case if you didn't know, if I rent or lease a house, guys, that's going to be way more expensive than me going out and buying one in terms of what the mortgage would be. Yes, it takes more money to get it, down payment and all of that. But the long-term gain and the game of this, Shay's mortgage is a lot lower than what this place would be for us to rent it. Does that make sense, everybody?
So let's put numbers.
Give me 2 people in the chat that says, yes, Derek, I get it. Because I want y'all to really get that. As a lease or a rental, it's going to be higher, guys, than when you buy that place.
Yeah.
Shay, go ahead.
Let's put numbers to it. I want people to get the financial understanding for those that may be a little lost in the sauce, right? If I own this property, I'm just going to throw numbers out. These are not realistic numbers. And I purchased such said home. My mortgage is, let's say my mortgage is $2,100. Now, if I go and put it on the MLS or put it on any of the rental platforms, my goal is to get a return on that, right? Because as the homeowner, I want to receive a return and not just break even in paying my mortgage. So I may say, you know what, let me look to see what the surrounding areas are going for a 5-bed, 3-bath home in this area for rent. And Derek, our numbers came up to in that area was $3,800. So now imagine you have a $2,100 mortgage, and now you can rent this property for $3,800. Look at the benefit for the homeowner, and instead of looking at me as the quote unquote renter having to pay $3,800, right? So what's better, to own the asset or to now rent it from someone that owns the asset that's now tacked on an additional $1,700 on their mortgage that they now get to put in their pocket every month because you're paying them rent. So that's the benefit of being an owner and not a renter.
Absolutely. Let's take a break, guys, and we'll be right back.
Hey, what's going on, family? Just to let you know really quick, everything that you're listening to right now, I actually have it in a more structured way in a webinar. So when you guys get done here, go to forsterconsultants.com, click the tab that says webinars, and there's 2 webinars there. One is for you to be the actual ILF operator, meaning that you want to do it. And then the other one is the HRA. That stands for Housing Referral Agency, where you're able to take people from homeless to hopeful, and you actually don't need the real estate. It stands for a Housing Referral Agency, and we call it a business in a box. But definitely go to forsterconsultants.com, watch both of those webinars, then set up a free strategy call with me and my team, and let's see how we can get you started. Back to the show.
We are back. And like we said earlier, and is also on the screen, the first step to all of this, guys, is texting more info to 407-326-0086. That's going to give you our introductory webinar. And then when you're done with it, my team is going to send you a link to set up a call with Shay and I to talk about how can we get you started in terms of where you live at. On YouTube, we talk a lot about just, in general, in terms of just how it works and all of that. But on that discovery call, we're going to talk about, where do you live?
Yeah.
What is your zip code? Like, what is your background? What is your makeup? And are you ready to get into the game of housing people, the displaced, and the homeless?
Yeah.
Right? Because if God has called you to it, why not? Right? Because Derek said it, but the Bible says the poor and needy will always be among us.
Yeah.
And we're to take care of the poor, the needy, and the widow. And guys, we're doing it through real estate. So we always tell people, man, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, this is it. Because again, we also live by something else. We want to please God. We want to help people. We want to be respected by the community.
Absolutely.
And we want to make enough money to feed our family. That's my wish for you. I want you all of you all right now. I want all of you all to please God. I want you to help mankind. I want your community to respect you while you're doing it.
Yeah.
But I also want you to make enough money to feed your family. Because the Bible also said that a man don't work, he don't eat. And I want all of y'all to feed your family, because also somewhere in that good book, it says that if we put God's plans before ours, if we build the kingdom, if we put all God's plans before mine, if we build something that's bigger than us.
Correct.
In fact, it says something like this: seek ye first the kingdom. And I got Tiffany Walker in here, so if I mess this up, Tiffany gonna correct me.
And all
but
these
the Bible says, what they in
what
does the all mean, Shay?
Everything.
That means all that stuff you want. Meaning the houses, the cars, the land, the clothes, all that materialistic stuff. God said if you put his plan before yours, he'll make sure that your all is taken care of. And again, guys, I'm no pastor, I'm no priest, and I'm no bishop. Guys, none of that stuff.
Constance is on it. She said,
guys, I'm none of that
Constance.
stuff. But again, I always tell you, can you imagine doing God's will, helping people in your community? The Channel 8 News want to come and shoot a story about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And watch this, because if you new to us, you may not know this. Watch this, Constance, because I think Constance is new to us. And Constance, guess what? We take no credit.
None.
The thing that makes this genius is that we're going to do God's will, we're going to help people, and we decrease so that God can increase in us. And we take absolutely no credit. You show me a business where you put God first and help people that won't succeed. The devil is a liar. So my prayer for each and every one of you, that when you put your hands to the plow to do this, that first of all, we got your back at Forster Consultants, but God has got your back too because of what he told you to do. So again, don't forget to text that phrase more info to 407-326-0086. That's going to give you that webinar. And guys, we're going to jump right back into the conversation. Shay, you got anything else that you want to jump in before I kind of jump back in it?
Let's see.
Because there's also some questions that came in. I want to make sure that we also answer those too.
So
guys, if you guys have questions, make sure that you don't sit here all night long and just listen to us.
Well, we ain't hanging out all night.
I know that when I'm in live sessions and things that I'm being coached on, like I ask question after question, and usually we're here for about 90 minutes. Tonight may be a little bit different. Today may be a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
But what we're really good at is before we're leaving here, we always make sure that we answer all the questions. And I want to answer a question right now from the Patrick family. They asked about how do we get the social workers and case managers to the actual property to view it?
Oh my goodness.
That's what we're talking about.
That's my
September
favorite.
10th, right?
That's my favorite.
So that encompasses a lot of different stuff. In
Yeah.
fact, one of the things is the technology that we use. So I'll give you that now, but it's called digitalflowsolutions.net.
Yeah.
Shay's going to type it in the chat. That's called digitalflowsolutions.net. That's going to serve as your website, your CRM system, your business phone line, your text messaging capabilities, and your social media, and 1,000 other things.
Yep.
But if I just stop right there, that system's already worth it. Because again, most of you're going to get that because you're going to get our coaching product, and we just give it to you. But even if you came outside of our coaches and just said, well, Derek, I want a website. Guys, it's only $97 to set up the website, and it's $37 a month if that's what you want.
Yeah.
There's a plan for $87 and there's a plan for $297. But even the plan for the $37 gets you a website, CRM system, business phone line, text messaging capabilities, and social media, and over probably 7 different places of where you can text. And all of those places with one click of a button. That's called digitalflowsolutions.net. And again, Shay, that's how we do our marketing campaign. That's how we email and text message our social workers and case managers. That's how we text blast
That's how
them.
we keep them engaged.
We do a lot of that stuff. Shay,
Yeah,
jump in because this is one of your favorites.
That's what I'm saying. You sure you want to let me loose on Digital Flow
Go ahead.
Solutions? Well, okay. So first and foremost, Digital Flow Solutions is something that is mind blowing for the small business owner, right? Someone entering into the entrepreneurial space. One, it's affordable. Two, it gives you access to everything that big box companies and brands have access to. That's the phone line, the SMS campaigns, the email campaigns, email and funnels and all of this extra stuff, trigger links and blah, 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 right? Automations, workflows, being able to identify target markets and your target marketing. Oh man, it's phenomenal. But we at Forston Consultants, alongside with Digital Flow Solutions, love to be able to introduce our family members, which is you all, to the things that are attainable to you and allow you to get the reach out of who you are, right? Digital Flow Solutions is a premier marketing platform that is all encompassing. So you can get rid of your MailChimp, you can get rid of Survey Monkey, you can get rid of all of these extra things.
They can get rid of MailChimp. A lot of people use MailChimp.
Buy MailChimp. Hasta la pasta, not even hasta la vista. We're going to say hasta la pasta. Get out of here. But anyway, yeah, you can get rid of MailChimp. You can get rid of all of those ancillary platforms that you have. Derek, prime example, I'm onboarding a company right now who has a very vast following. They've got a lot of intricate integrations in their website that I must say has been very interesting. And it has taken us 2 weeks to import over everything with a deadline of being finished finally tomorrow. But this company is so excited about Digital Flow Solutions that I meet with them on a weekly basis to help them start implementing now. So once they go live, they're live. So with their automations, with their workflows, with all of their their trigger links, and with everything that they need to get the word out in their social media, they'll be ready to go tomorrow. So again, it allows you to market yourself. It gives you a CRM, which is a customer relationship management tool that again keeps all of your contacts in one place. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, I got my domain email." Great. But are you literally creating contacts for every person that you are communicating with? And do you have access to mail blast them from your current your domain? No, you don't. And if you do, you're forwarding a message or you're CCing about 500 people in one email. And now everybody sees that they've been sent an email with another 500 people. When you have something like a CRM, you can customize different things within that email communication that makes people feel like it's targeted just to them and nobody else. So again, it's just giving you access to things that big companies have access to, and that you can get at an affordable price. If you are interested, Derek, go ahead and put the lower third up so they can even book an assessment with Digital Flow Solutions. Even if you're not a Forston Consultants family member, ILF Mastery Blueprint member, or any of our product programs that we add Digital Flow Solutions on, but you're interested, it doesn't matter if you have an ILF, if you're a real estate investor, if you are a chef and have a restaurant, if you are a whatever, home repair agency, or AC repair company, it does not matter at all. Contact us at Digital Flow Solutions or text CRM to 407-809-8215, and we'll be happy to assess.
Get a free business assessment.
Yeah,
it's free, guys. Especially for you all that have a business already, or if you're thinking of a business, that business assessment, that business analysis, guys, it's free. And Shay is a genius when it comes to these systems in terms of what it can do. I often jokingly tell you guys that you're going to get confused right here on YouTube.
You will, yeah.
Type the word CRM to 407-809-8215 and set up that free business analysis, whether you fry chicken, whether you bake chocolate chip cookies, or whether you house the homeless. It doesn't matter. Whatever business you do, digitalflowsolutions.net, guys, can be your foundation piece. Because Shay and I own 8 businesses, guys, and the foundation to every one of those is Digital Flow Solutions. It runs our phone system, text messaging system, social media, and that
Yeah.
means Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, TikTok,
Everything.
YouTube, and I can go on and on and on.
Everything.
Right?
Yeah.
So when people say, well, Derek, how are you emailing all of these social workers at one time? I'm using Digital Flow
Yeah.
Solutions, right? For my social media, we're using Digital Flow Solutions. And I'll admit, guys, I'm not very techy. I don't do any of my social media. We use virtual assistants. So we show you guys how to leverage your skill set from the Philippines for $5 an hour to make all of those dreams in your head that God downloaded to you to actually make them come true.
Yeah.
So again, if you've never heard us talk about virtual assistants or how that works, make sure you join us on Tuesdays. In fact, tomorrow we'll probably be talking about virtual assistants and how they help us within the business. But on September 10th, I'm literally going to show you guys how my VA Jess, who I trained over 17 months ago to be me, how she runs my whole program now.
Yes.
So again, if you want to learn that and want to know how I took a virtual assistant from the Philippines who I've never met in person, but we meet online on Zoom meetings
every week,
but runs my whole program here in Orlando, Florida for $5 an hour, text the word leverage to 407-326-0086. Again, text the word leverage to 407-326-0086. And that's going to give you the information for our workshop that's on September 10th.
Yes.
That's only $97. Otherwise, this topic would never be even talked about in public. You would have to have our ILF Mastery Blueprint coaching to get it. But these workshops, guys, we're breaking it down and making it affordable for people that maybe say, well, Derek, I can't afford your coaching.
Yeah.
But I do want to know how y'all do that. So that's what we've been doing, y'all, is pulling certain topics out. And again, if you want to know how we leverage partnerships within the community to fill all of these empty beds, text the word leverage to 407-326-0086, and my team will send you the information.
I want to
Shay?
say one thing.
Say two things, actually.
Two things.
Say two.
When it comes to Digital Flow Solutions, one of the benefits that I get, and I'm telling you this because I want to see your business. I've had a lot of meetings in the past couple of months, and I've been able to expand the entrepreneur's mindset of what they can do with their business at its current place, where it's at, with the addition of software and systems. A lot of people say, well, I don't need that. I don't need that. I'm not ready for that. You don't understand. You don't realize how ready you are for it until you see it. And you allow somebody from the outside to take a preview of the inner workings of what you have going on to help you streamline your processes, right? What we don't want you to do is to be overwhelmed and overthrown by what you're doing to where you have to focus so much on both the administrative stuff and your services that you were rendered. The goal is to provide you with a platform that can carry the heavy lifting in regards to your administrative, right? Once you add that with a virtual assistant, fireworks. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just amazing. It's fireworks.
Yep,
and you really don't want to miss out on what that assessment can bring you and in understanding. I tell anybody, give me about an hour to an hour and a half of your time, and I'll take up the whole time because I am going to look at your current processes and even give you ideas of what you can implement as well.
And don't forget, even if you have a completely different business, guys, even though we talk about the ILF model and real estate and housing people and the love of God, we don't care what the business is. If Shay tutored, Shay was coaching somebody about 3 months ago that owned a smoothie shop and blew this guy's mind in terms of what the virtual assistant can do for him remotely
and how we can
all of the ways that our system, Digital Flow Solutions, was able to automate a lot of his services and for him to get more customers. And ultimately, what happens if you get more customers, Shay? You make more money.
Make more money.
So again, guys, it doesn't matter what you do. Back on you,
and you're gonna
Shay.
need more help. But again, like I said, even the other day I had a brunch. I usually go to lunch, I should say, with other female entrepreneurs that are pretty much just very visionary, Derek. And just sitting at the table, one of the ladies had to stop me. And she was like, Shay, just stop. I need to meet with you. And I'm actually meeting with her tomorrow. So she says, I got to meet with you because I can't believe that you're just letting this stuff fly off your lips. And you've just told me that I can do 5 different things with my current business in the current state that it's in. So I have an assessment with her tomorrow. And the goal is to get her up and operational and off of these, other sites that don't provide the necessary features that she needs.
Yeah.
So
Good
I'm
stuff.
excited about that.
Good stuff. So right here in the next probably 5 to 6 minutes, because we're probably going to shut down, guys, and probably
You're gonna take me to
exactly
dinner?
in about an hour. Ooh, you heard that? So I got to way out. I'm taking Shay to dinner. So what we're going to do is I want to talk about one last thing from the Patrick family. You guys
Okay.
asked what populations are we allowed to serve.
Oh my goodness.
Before I kind of get into that, I always give the disclaimer, right? Even though God has probably put in your heart who you should serve, or you have an idea of who you want to help, we always say choose it according to your lifestyle, but also allow the community to dictate the need.
Yeah.
And what I mean by lifestyle is this, right? We get a lot of people, and not that I try to change anybody's mind, but when somebody comes to me and say, well, Derek, I want to house the teenagers aging from the foster care system. Derek, my heart is for the young people.
I'm gonna say, bless your heart.
There's a lot of people that have told me that, and after my coaching or after they've gotten into it, they found out that their lifestyle was not conducive to that population.
Correct.
And if you don't know what that means, I'm gonna give you a little bit of an example. Prime example. Today, I'm very busy. God has blessed me to be very busy with business, consulting. Guys, 7 days a week, I'm doing something in terms of working. 6 days out of the 7, I'm probably running my big mouth talking about this and coaching and consulting people.
Yeah.
But the way that my life is structured today with traveling and speaking engagements and pouring into people and running multiple businesses, guys, I can't house the young crew, meaning those teenagers from the foster care system. That's not conducive to my lifestyle because I'm so busy. What I mean by that is this: even though they're adults, because of their background and where they came from and how they were raised, usually by bad parents, drug addicted parents, guys, they're all over the place. Usually they still need a lot of nurturing, a lot of cuddling, a lot of one-on-one time. And I'll admit today my lifestyle don't match that. But watch this though. God has put on my heart from a long years ago that I got a heart for older people. I like the old guys and the old ladies. That's what my heart's always been tugged to. And just by chance, that's what God has kind of poured into my program at Second Chance Housing. I don't have a lot of 18-year-olds and 22-year-olds and 35-year-olds. Most of my clients are what you see on this screen is that older gentleman, the older military veteran that's not looking for a party. He's not looking for the newest drug to try. He's not sneaking women through my windows at night. He's not doing drugs and alcohol and dodging me trying to pay rent. That's not my population. So again, because of our lifestyle, I'll admit, guys, the middle age to the older adult, and for me, the older the better.
Yeah.
Because they don't look for a party. They're not looking for a bunch of stuff. That old crew, what I found out, Shay, they want a quiet place to live. They don't want to be bothered.
Right.
And they want to pay rent on time because they don't want to be homeless, Shay. They're afraid to be homeless. So you can talk about kind of what God has called you to and what you do, but I love to tell people that lifestyle and let the community dictate it. Because again, even in my community, y'all, I don't get a lot of calls for the young guys. I get the older people. Shay, tell them kind of what kind of calls you get and what God has put on your heart.
My calls are very interesting, honestly, because I have a nonprofit organization. So my calls are a little different. I get a lot of calls for women and children, or the single adult, just the single family, the adult with their child, whether it's male or female. And that's something that the Angela Denise Foundation is looking to grow into by acquiring more assets to be able to house that population or assist that population. My calls, right, again, they transition or they change based on the season. I can get a lot of calls for older adults, older women, or I can get a lot of calls for your middle age to, your in-betweens like that.